Willie D Live.
What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you represent. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you be in the loop. Let a few hundred of y'all come in, then I'm going in. But in the meantime, in between time, I'm going to give some shots out to the early birds, starting with Don, SMA, what it do? Connie, what's up? African Native, what it do? Clarence Jones, Sharon Lawrence, Misty Chicago, what's up, what's up, what's up? Lady Leo, Antoinette, what's up, Antoinette? Shaquan, what's up? What's up? I see you, NYC. Is that Alex? Oakland in the house. Devon. That's who we got here. Lisa Owens. H. Kizzle. Miami. What's up? What's up? China Carter. China Carter. What's up, China? We got Morton. What it do? Angela Deck. Hey, Angela. Yeah, you've been moonlighting over there messing with those other YouTubers and stuff. I see you. Yeah, all in the video. Fernando, what up? Nelson, I see you. Morton, West Indies, checking in. Heavenly. What's up, Derek Mallory? Charlene, go. Lost my spot for a minute there, fam. Okay. All right, fam. We got a lot going on. Let's see. So we got the clash. We got a clash going on between the left and the right. The no kings clash. So all over the country today, there have been protests against Donald Trump, your president, and his policies. A lot of people are not really feeling the war. They believe that this war is an unjust war. They are not feeling it. People are saying that this dude, Donald Trump, is a major problem. He has to go. They want him out. They want him out immediately. There are people who says that he should be in jail. He need to be in prison. He and his entire cabinet. That's what they're saying. Don't shoot the messenger. Let's get into what this report on CNN says. No Kings protests, large crowds attend nationwide rallies against the Trump administration. So we got right here, let's go down a little bit further here. We'll start right here. No Kings protesters march through suburbs, major cities, and small towns across the U.S., carrying signs and showing off many inflatable costumes. Almost half of the protests took place in GOP strongholds, according to event organizers. Here's one of the event organizers right here, the guy to the right. That's Ezra Levin. He's the co-founder of Indivisible. He spoke to CNN's Omar Jimenez about organizing the No Kings rallies to be a place for everybody to come and exercise their rights as Americans in a patriotic and safe way. Maria Trejo, a Chicago resident and mother, said she showed up to the No Kings rally demonstration in Chicago after she had a case of mistaken identity with her daughter in Portland. Trejo said she saw her daughter, who lives in Portland, leaving a grocery store and attempted to chase her down, but it didn't go as planned. She ran to her car, locked the doors, and displayed her American passport. She was shaking. She was crying. They would have grabbed her, Trejo said. So these are people that's giving their accounts of the protest and why they are protesting. I want to show you a clash that happened in Florida with the opposing sides. This was it almost came to blows, but it was close enough to where I wanted to show you what's going on, because tensions are flaring. I'm sure by now there are reports of some actual violence, because, you know, Americans, they're really good at violence towards Americans. You know, America's the number one threat in regards to violence towards an American is an American. America is America's biggest threat. Check this out.
No kings! No kings! Oh, you're so tough. Look at the
Troublemaker. Just like his king.
Just coming. I mean.
I know. Yes, I know. It's diluted. Don't touch them.
Don't touch anyone. We're here to protest.
I'll get you cut flap. Get that. We're here for a peaceful rally, idiot. We're not here for a fight. Do not come over here and put that horn in my face again.
Stupid.
What do I got?
You guys should be embarrassed of you. Embarrassing. Yeah, you bunch of clowns.
Read the sign. Read the sign.
Yeah, man. I got a bunch of stock in Lockheed Martin. I'm making do it.
There's the problem.
Believe you have a master's degree.
All right, don't engage.
I can't believe you have a master's degree. As if a master's degree determines the degree of your civility. Can't believe you have a master's degree. They got people out there that have master's degrees who are dumber than a bag of rocks. Totally insane, right? But anyway, fam, here's the deal. So these demonstrations, see, the people that are protesting against the government, the current administration, they're at a disadvantage, but they're going out there anyway. So I salute them for putting themselves out there, you know, and standing in the gap, because if something breaks out, they're going to get the short end of the stick. The police is always on the side of the oppressor. The police is always going to be on the side of the establishment. The police is going to always be on the side of the KKK, the Proud Boys, the neo-Nazis, any of these white nationalist organizations. They're going to always be on their side. So if you're on the other side, even if you're white, you might come across a Kyle Rittenhouse and get gunned down in cold blood and nobody go to jail. Yeah, it could happen. See, because the number one goal is to maintain white supremacy. So a lot of this stuff is just distractions. Once you realize what it is, you can navigate through it better. Once you really see what's going on, you say, okay, I got it. I see what they're doing. So it really don't matter what I do, all of this traditional stuff. I mean, there's some things you can do, but the traditional stuff, it don't really work because it hasn't worked. We've been taken to the streets. How long has civil rights been going? Are we going to 70 years or something? What has been like 70 years? The Civil Rights Act of 1964. That's 36 years. That's 36 years plus 26 years is 62 years. So that's 62 years of protesting. And the protesting actually happened before that. The bill was passed in 62, but the protest started before that. So, so they are not going to, allow for, equal footing. When they went in and gutted those DEI programs, who, by the way, benefited white women the most, but there was some, Black people was able to get a little action and other people were able to get a little action. When they took that away, they was going in day one saying, we don't want none of that, all of that. We finna roll back civil rights. We about to roll back the DEI, anything with the talking about inclusion. We finna roll back any programs that talks about tolerance. We're even going to start, we are going to declassify nooses. We're going to declassify nooses and what else? What did they say? They said nooses. What's the other thing that they said that they were going to declassify as symbols of hate? It was nooses and I believe it was like the can't think of it exactly right now, but yeah. So these symbols, the swastika, that's another one. But these symbols that has historically represented hatred, racism, they decided that, you know what, we're going to declassify that, and that's no longer a racist thing. So if you're Black and somebody leaves a noose on your desk, that's not hate. That's just a noose on your desk. Yeah. So that's what we are. So when you show up at these protests, you better have a plan. Because that's why I can't do it. Because if they put their hands on me, I'm making contact. I'm absolutely making contact. You ain't gonna be able to Martin Luther King me. You ain't finna hit me in the head with no stick, no brick, and none of that, and think you finna just make it. Oh, nah, bro. I'm not having none of that. So I'm not gonna put myself in that position, because once I get on their ass, I already know, even if I win, I'm gonna lose in the end, because they got an entire system set up to oppose me. They got an entire system set up to make me out of an example, an entire system set up to subjugate me, to make sure that I don't get an opportunity to do something like that again, or I think 1,000 times before I do something like that again. So even when they're wrong, they got the law set up to give them relief. They got the law set up to circumvent accountability. So this is why I don't put myself in those positions. Now, when I was a younger cat, that's the first thing I did. I was at all these protests and stuff that was happening around that time, the early 90s. Yeah, I was in the mix. Yeah, I was at all kind of protests and stuff. I mean, I boycotted the Republican convention when it came to Houston. I was out in the front. When it came to the Astrodome, I was out in the front right there on the main street. I think, what was that? not Fannin, what's the other street? Kirby. Yeah, I was out there. I was in the streets, you know. But I realized that because I came close to a few times, I got really, really close to having to make contact. And I was like, I'm not making a little contact. I'm going off. I'm going all the way off. So this probably ain't gonna work out in my favor. So it ain't gonna look right. I'm not going. At the end of the day, even though I'm right, they're gonna treat me like I was wrong. They're gonna put me in the system and treat me like I was wrong. They're gonna have me facing a jury of their peers. And that jury is going to judge me like I was wrong. And they're going to try to act like the system is so good and just. And I just bucked the system and I just wanted to do something crazy. And I'm just a uncivilized mutt when the system is actually designed to protect uncivilized mutts of a certain hue. So I'm like, nah, I got better ways to protest. You know, there's multiple ways to protest, but I'm not saying that these people that are protesting shouldn't protest. I think everybody has to do what they feel, you know. Do what makes you sleep good. Nobody could have told me not to take to the streets when I was younger. You couldn't have told me that. I would still went out there. I would have still risked it all at that time, you know. So these protests are going to get more violent right now, you know, because if you think about it, every single person who's ever been killed, listen to what I'm saying. Every single person who's ever been killed, invariably, an argument ensued before they were killed. Think about what I'm saying. Think about the people that you know who have been killed personally. Usually there's an argument that happens. Maybe that argument happened seconds before they were killed, minutes before they were killed, hours, days, weeks, months, maybe even a whole year. And that person saw him again, and it was on site. So this is why it's a good idea to try your best to avoid arguments, because you don't know, you know, what you'll do. You know, when you get angry, you really don't know how far you'll go, and the other person, you don't know how far the other person will go. You got to think about what's the worst thing that could happen. Worst thing that can happen, somebody get killed. And if that happens, are you ready to face the consequences? The consequences could be that you end up in court fighting for your freedom. Consequences could be you got to watch your back for the rest of your days, because if that person have some family members who are real hitters, you ain't gonna be able to rest. Oh no, you won't be able to rest. So that's how that goes. But this protesting is going to heat up. The protesting is going to heat up, especially as we get closer to the midterms. The midterms is going to be wild. It's going to be extremely wild. Right now, Trump, they're trying to change the rules to make voting a thing that has to happen on the day of. That's not going to go well. It's already not enough time for people to vote on the day of. A lot of times the voting polls close and people are still in line. They'll take them, whoever's in line, they'll go ahead on and take those people, but those lines are already long. Those those polling stations, they're already working with thin resources. And then he's talking about doing away with mail-in ballots, no more voting prior to election day. That is going to be a catastrophe. That's not going to work. But that's what they're banking on. They need something to disrupt the voting process to give themselves an excuse to maintain control. Because as it stands, if the voting process stays on par as it has been over the last, I don't know, century or whatever, hey, the Republicans are going to get washed. They're going to get washed. But here's the thing. The cold part is I don't have a lot of faith. I don't have a lot of faith in the Democrats ruling because they've been in power before. And we really haven't seen a lot. We haven't really seen a big difference. What you have with Trump is, and his administration is, a bunch of thugs who are just blatantly breaking the rules. They're blatantly stretching their authority. They just don't give a damn. They're blatantly like running the numbers up, levying tariffs, and not having an understanding, simple understanding that if they put tariffs against our trading partners, that's going to force those trading partners to raise their prices, which is going to have a trickle down effect of raising the price of living in America, which means that our goods and services go up too. That's common sense. And we're already suffering economically. Like people are already having a hard time paying bills already. And you do something like that, that just lets you know, once again, this country kind of like it is fueled by Band-Aid solutions, meaning that this guy just got shot. He needs to be operated on, but instead of you operating, you just put throw some alcohol on it, put a Band-Aid on it, say, okay, see you. If you have any problems, come back and we'll take a look at it. It's not working. I want you to pay attention to the energy that's being displayed here.
Countrymen!
No kings! No kings! It's all yours sometimes.
Give it with the microphone.
Just like his king.
Just coming. I mean.
I know. Yes, I know. It's diluted. Don't touch them.
Don't touch anyone.
We're here to protest.
Yeah, you cunt flap. Get that. We're here for a peaceful rally, idiot. We're not here for a fight. Do not come over here and put that horn in my face again.
You're still calling anybody with the mouth. What do you got? Stupid. What do I got?
You guys should be embarrassed of me. Embarrassing. Yeah, you bunch of clowns.
Before I go any further, salute to Freedom News TV. These guys, I've been seeing, they're everywhere. I mean, they're covering the news more than the traditional news outlets are covering. They're everywhere. They're getting like really exclusive footage. They're on the scene. So shouts out to them for doing a phenomenal job of chronicling what's going on out there and letting us see, because, you know, a lot of the mainstream media, even when they do capture these type of stories, they will try to spin the narrative. You know, they always have an agenda because the mainstream media works in collusion with the government. Yeah, that's right. I said it. I know you. They work together. So I don't trust them at all. I trust independent media way more. Like, let me just put it like this. I don't trust, to say I trust independent media way more would suggest that I trust mainstream media to an extent. I do not trust mainstream media at all. I trust independent media way more. I mean, not way more, but I trust independent media. Let me just put it like that. I trust independent media. If I hear a news story from independent media versus mainstream media, I am going to give the independent media the benefit of doubt, because independent media is seldom controlled by exterior forces. Mainstream media always has an agenda. Mainstream media always has an ulterior motive. Mainstream media always spins the narrative. You can go into, I know people who work in mainstream media, and they have tried to present stories, compelling stories that their audience wants to see. And they'll go in there and that producer will say, no, we don't want to cover that. Look, I need you to cover this. Like, they'll just dismiss the story. And it could be a really, really good story that the people really want to hear. And they'll be like, no. We'll let you do this story, or we'll let you do that story. And even when you do stories that the people want to hear, they make you oftentimes scale certain information back, because they really don't want the people to start thinking for themselves. Because if they do, they know the jig is up. They know it's over. So mainstream media, I absolutely salute these guys. Freedom News TV, once again, doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah, man. I got a bunch of stock in Lockheed Martin. I'm not gonna do it.
There's the problem.
I don't believe you have a master's degree.
All right, don't engage.
Yeah. I see you, Connie. I appreciate that. Look, fam. Yeah. So here's what's interesting. Just to say that let y'all know, Connie was saying that she trusts me over these other guys, and I appreciate that, because here's the deal. You know, even when I bring you the news, you know, from my standpoint, where I regain control of the narrative and not let them try to put the spin on it. Sometimes somebody will say, you know, I'll get somebody in the comments, who's paying you? Who are you working for? You know, yeah, Willie D, who are you working for? I'm like, man, like, if you're going to accuse me of working for somebody, at least tell me who I'm working for so I can get my damn money. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I'm not afraid to take a check if the check aligns with my beliefs. Think about it, fam. That's a perfect scenario. If you can be who you are, if you can be exactly who you are and get paid for being who you are, if you can get paid for your opinion, not somebody else's opinions, if you can get paid for your opinions, who amongst us would not do that? Anybody who say they wouldn't is a lie. So what I want to know, but I'm not getting paid from an outside entity for my opinions. You know, my opinions are my opinions. And if I want to change my opinion, I can, but it wouldn't be because somebody pressured me. You dig what I'm saying? It would be because I had a change of heart. Maybe somebody educated me on something, and I realized that, you know what, maybe they're right, because I don't know everything, and I don't purport to know everything. I don't roll like that. I'm not going to pander. So every now and then, you know, I might say something that I know what my audience wants to hear. They want to hear, they want to hear the truth. You know, that's what they want to hear. But every now and then, you know, like, I might bring the truth that somebody might not respect. They might not appreciate me saying what I'm saying or whatever. And I take that risk. I'll take that chance. But if I'm getting paid, man, at least tell me about who am I getting paid? Who owes me some damn money? Because anybody who owe me money, I'm going to get that money, man. If you owe me some money, I'm going to get that money. Believe that. Because that ain't my money. That's my kids' money. So I think that I have an obligation to go get that money. So if I'm supposed to be being controlled by somebody, I need to know who that somebody is and tell me also how much do they owe me? Because I need to go get that money. Because I'm going to go get that money. If somebody hell, sometimes I collect money for other people. You know what I'm saying? So if it's my money, if it's some money that's owed to me, you better believe I'm going to get it. I got to have it. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.